What's up, everybody? This is the Life is Easy, Life is Good video blog, and this is the 12th video. So last week I talked about how life is a journey and the ultimate destination is love. That's the only reason why we're here, is to experience the fullness of love. Love of our own life and love of others. And we talked about how in the story of Exodus in the Bible, how Moses was leading the children of Israel, or the people of Israel, out of slavery in Egypt into the quote-unquote promised land. And for me, I just use the promised land as a metaphor for the good life. And the good life meaning being able to have peace in worrisome situations and still being able to enjoy life in depressing situations. And the Bible actually has two verses that describes heaven. So in Revelation, they describe heaven as a place with no sorrow or suffering or tears. And also in Matthew chapter 17, verse 20, they describe the kingdom of heaven as righteousness, peace, and joy. And righteousness meaning knowing that you are right even when you make wrong decisions. Not in a prideful way, that even if you make a mistake or make a wrong decision, you don't have to live with shame or guilt. You can actually feel as if you are able to move through that and actually rise above that wrong decision. And for peace, that meaning that even in a worrisome situation where you don't know whether it's going to turn out bad or if it looks like it's going to turn out bad, you can actually know that you have the ability to influence that it turns out for your benefit. And as far as joy is concerned, you're able to enjoy your life even in depressing situations. So for me, that's what heaven on earth is. Even in the prayer in Matthew or in the New Testament, when it says, let your will be done on earth as it is in heaven, I believe that that's what we are on earth to do, is to experience heaven here on earth, and not to wait until we die to go into the afterlife, but to bring that about now, to have peace, enjoyment, and to know that even when we make mistakes, things can still turn out right. They don't have to be negative consequences for our wrong decisions. Even when we make wrong decisions and make mistakes and error, we can still have confidence that things will turn out right for us. So I just wanted to kind of define what heaven on earth means, and then just kind of keep going along with the metaphor for the people of Israel being led out of Egypt into the promised land, or quote-unquote heaven on earth. So we talked about how when they got to the promised land, there were giants there. But I also wanted to tell you about another part of that story that's in the book of Numbers chapter 20. When they were in the wilderness, and the wilderness was a desert, and this was between them leaving slavery and before they actually got to the land that they were promised, that was flowing with milk and honey, or the good life. So when they were in the wilderness and it was hot and they were starving and they were dying of thirst, God actually speaks to Moses and says, there's a rock, and I want you to actually speak to the rock so that water comes out of it, so that people can actually quench their thirst. And Moses was so upset with the people that he actually went over and hit the rock with his staff, or with a stick. And when he hit the rock, he actually was told that he would not enter the promised land. So here's a quote-unquote warning for what actually causes us not to enter the promised land, or what keeps us from experiencing heaven on earth. It's whenever God, or life, or the universe gives us a blessing and we complain about it and attack it instead of actually speaking to a problem. So he saw the rock as a problem, or as a negative thing, and he had disbelief that water would even actually come out of it. So instead of speaking to it and speaking to the negative situation to become a source or a resource of life and a positive blessing, he actually attacks it with complaint or anger or frustration, and that's what keeps him out of the quote-unquote promised land, or heaven on earth. So I wanted to just give you that illustration that a lot of times when we are faced with a negative situation, if we are if that causes us to have frustration or anger, or to complain about it, or to attack it, or to fight against it, or to tell somebody else how bad it is, that thing is going to persist, and that's going to keep us out of the quote-unquote peace that we can feel in our heart, and the enjoyment that we can feel in our life. And however, if we speak to it, and I'm not so much actually having a conversation with it, but more so using our words in a positive manner. This is going to turn out good. Everything is okay. I know that the good life or I can have peace in this situation. I know I can still enjoy my life in the midst of this situation. Saying those things to ourselves. Even when we tell other people about the situation, the negative situation we are in, saying it's going to work out. It will be fine. It's still going to work out to my benefit. I'm not worried about it. I'm at peace about it. I know that even though it seems negative now, it's going to turn out to actually be a benefit for me. So using our words is actually one way we can actually enter into the promise of having peace on earth, enjoyment in depressing situations, and even when we make wrong decisions, being able to have the outcome still be a benefit to us. So I just wanted to give you guys that illustration real quick, and next week we're going to continue to talk about how the wilderness is a metaphor for our life on earth, our suffering on earth, being in the desert, and how we can actually have heaven on earth. So keep watching my videos. They're all in my photos page and my albums, and next week we'll continue to talk about how life is a journey and the destination is love. I'll see you guys next week. Peace.